I'm back with another one. This week I'm painting another gnome. Don't judge me, it's my current hyperfixation project. Welcome back to my canvas. Let's take a good look at this guy. It's another kit from Merlandrew. I've bought a few kits from her shop, and I've actually been in contact with her about a collab, so keep watching to see what we have planned. This guy's name is labeled as Walter Whiskers, which immediately made me think of Walter White, but regardless, I'm changing his name as I have all the others. Unpacking this, I see the brushes, paints, and sealers included in the packaging, as well as a great stage for him to stand on. You can pause to read the note, or I'll sum it up here. I cleaned up my space a bit and brought a few of my own brushes in. This is mainly because I just don't want to wash the brushes between colors. I brought in a dotting tool as well, but I didn't end up using it. For skin tones, I'm keeping them diverse, so he's going to be this nice milk chocolate brown color. Getting around all those facial features was tricky, especially trying to not get it on the facial hair or the hat. Glancing at the gnomes I've already painted, I had to pick a good color for this one. So I went with a strawberry red, so there's pink undertones, but mainly he's red. This guy has an actual face, unlike the rest of the gnomes I've created. I thought about covering it, but that would have taken some clay work that I'm not good enough at to have attempted. So I decided that he's like the Papa Smurf of the gnomes. Since he's got actual eyes, he can sort of watch over them. A pink base coat and a second coat on his skin tone, and I'm dousing it in this strawberry red color. I tried to keep it a thin coat so the pink would still show through and be those shaded kind of lowlights, especially in the folds of the hat. But after realizing the pink didn't really show through, I went in with the strawberry red on his robe and just kind of gave up on the pink. This was also a little tricky, going around his belt and the hands, and the beard without getting it all over. I'm also having trouble keeping him in focus. It's so tiny, I'm really sorry. I try. This is coming out redder than I wanted it to. I didn't want like an obvious rainbow of gnomes, but I wanted color, so if I paint more, I'll vary the colors and shades so it's not so obvious. It was so hard to hold it at this point, with almost all the red being wet, or at least damp, but I managed it somehow without dropping him too many times. And at this point, I'm also starting in on the pants and boots, which were a little hard to differentiate between, but it's mostly boot. It's like the detail he gained in his face, he lost in his legs and boots. While I have gray on my brush from painting the boots, I used that dark shade in the crevices of his facial hair to add some shadows. But I also feel bad that I haven't given him a name yet, so his name is now Griff. I semi-wet blended a lighter shade of gray with the darker that's in the crevices to add a nice gradient onto his beard and hair. Since he's giving Papa Smurf Guardian vibes, and you can tell he's seen some stuff, I have to go with gray. It shows his age and wisdom to the others as they're elder, I guess. Not that there's a hierarchy within my gnome community. A pale pink dry brushing on the tips of his hat gives it that final, slightly worn, slightly sun-damaged look. I've done this dry brushing on a few of them, and I love the effect, so obviously I had to keep it going. I add some dry brushing onto the elbows of his robe and the bottom edges with that pale pink to match the hat, and I'm starting on the belt that I definitely didn't almost forget about and leave white. Griff is now almost done, with his belt and the buckle being the last details before I get to smother him in that top coat. With these gnomes, I always start by using a loose bristle brush and really cramming the provided sealer into all the nooks and crannies of the gnomes. However, since I don't love the super gloss look personally, I've always been, more of a satin, eggshell, flat kind of person. I then bring it into my attic and spray it with a healthy coat of a flat acrylic sealer spray. When it's dry, Griff is then ready to join his friends. Stay tuned for more of these gnomes and from the shop I'm collabing with, Merlandrew. For now, here are all 4 of the gnomes: Mr. Sir, Cousin It, Flora, and Griff. Now, none of them have a home yet because I'm still working on that, and that is also part of the collab that I'm doing with the shop Merlandrew that provides these kits. I am super excited to be working with her, and we have been going back and forth for a few weeks now, and we're reaching a point of agreement and should start with the collab soon, so stay tuned. Have a great week, and see you next time.